Camo. Everybody has their favorite patterns. Whether you're a collector or you just like the style of a particular camo, or whether it actually has utility and usage in the terrain and environment you live in. Unfortunately for me, living in the American Southwest, where everything is a desert or a canyon, most of my favorite camos actually have little to no utility at all. So today I'm going to be going through and quickly showcasing some of my favorite camos, along with giving a very brief history of each one. And at the end, we're going to be taking an American classic, the tricolor DCU, and we're going to be dyeing it a little bit darker so it doesn't contrast so heavily with the desert environment that I live in. The first pattern we're going to be talking about today is Germany's own flecktarn pattern. This pattern was first developed in 1976, but didn't actually see service until the 1980s. And at this point, there are countless variations on the flecktarn pattern, but my favorite is still Germany's own Tropentarn pattern. Now, although this pattern is relatively newer, its inspirations date back all the way to World War II Germany, where two patterns in particular inspired this more modern pattern. And these two patterns were the
Eichenlaubmuster's
oak leaf pattern and the Erbsenmuster's P-shaped pattern. The next pattern we're talking about is the Belgian jigsaw pattern, which I feel is also one of the most stylish and instantly recognizable patterns out there. This pattern began its life in 1956 and actually saw service all the way until 2022. And these pants in particular are also very comfortable with double reinforced knees, and I wear these all the time, even though they don't necessarily go very well with my desert environment. The next pattern is the Polish WZ93, which, as the name implies, was birthed in 1993 and was originally the uniform for the GROM Polish Special Forces. It became so popular that it eventually spread across the rest of the Polish military and was in use in the Donbass conflict, the Haitian military intervention, as well as places like Bosnia and Kosovo. So it has a long, storied history since 1993, and I believe it to be one of the coolest, more woodland variant patterns that there is. Finally, we get to an actually desert-friendly pattern, which is this British DPM. This was officially released in the 1980s and was in service all the way till 2016, where it was replaced by Britain's multicam pattern, or MTP. Now, I think this pattern is definitely instantly recognizable and fairly unique. It's a two-color pattern, as you can see, and it also sort of reminds me of palm fronds or brushstroke pattern, and it actually works very well in the American Southwest and the desert regions of the United States. Next up is a multicam variant from Britain that replaced the British DPM, and that is the British MTP, or multi-terrain pattern. Now, as you can see, the multi-terrain pattern is pretty similar to America's own OCP and pretty much any other multicam variant. All three of the pieces that I'm wearing now blend in very well together and can be used together very easily, and I believe that the British MTP is a very good alternative to OCP if you don't want to wear the exact same camo that the American government is wearing currently. So this is a very good multicam variant, usually pretty cheap and easily available. A lot of the pieces that use MTP are quite good, like the Under Armour shirts, the jackets, and also these combat pants. As I mentioned in the start of the video, today we're going to be taking this American DCU 1-quart canteen pouch, which has the tricolor pattern on it, and we're going to try to dye it with RIT tan dye to try to bring it a little bit closer to the colors and the shades that I typically see in my desert environment. As you can see here, the DCU is actually quite bright, and most of the camos that came later to replace this one were significantly darker in some of the tones. So I believe that dyeing the lighter tone on the DCU will definitely make it contrast less with my environment and will make it match more of the equipment that I have. So we're going to be doing that now. And this is what it looks like out in the natural sunlight. So this is what it looks like after we rinse it off with cold water. As you can see, without the straps in front of it, it's definitely a few shades darker, and actually pretty much everything got uniformly a shade or two darker, including the green. We're about to put it through the wash as is recommended, so when it comes out of there, we'll see if it actually retains this darker tone to it. Alright, so just to put it in perspective with some of my other gear, I have an OCP jacket on the bed here, and as you can see, the pouch now definitely doesn't stick out as much. The green is a little bit darker and better suits the pack, and the brightest parts aren't as bright for sure. This was basically an off-white before. The greens definitely got darker and the brown stayed the same. The strap actually did also get about a shade or two darker, so it's basically very true to the tan color of the bottle. If I could do it again, I'd probably pick something a little bit darker just to better suit some of the other stuff, but for the most part, I think this will work perfectly fine. Here's the British DPM alongside the DCU. Yep, but that's it guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.